we will now begin the panel discussion. I would like to invite our guest speaker for the panel discussion. Let me start with you, Mr. Singh. You highlighted the importance of embracing eco-friendly solution for access equipment. Can you elaborate on specific example or innovation in Gemini Power Hydraulic Private Limited that align with sustainable practices in construction machinery?
Thank you. In fact, Gemini is partly a trading company and it's a partly a manufacturing company, right? So we represent a leading European brand called Hollet, right? So, and another product what we are manufacturing in India is basically truck mounted equipments. So as far as as far as Hollet is concerned, I think they were the first to go for Pulsio series of access machines, where they have converted 15 meter and 18 meter rough terrain scissor lift into battery operated rough terrain scissor lift. So that is part one of it. Part two is earlier they had a boom lift of diesel that also is coming in a variant with the batteries. And these machines are purely, as I said in my presentation, these are purely rough terrain machines. Earlier the notion was only on flat flooring these battery operated machines can be used, because they didn't have four-wheel drives, they didn't have four-wheel steering, they didn't have that type of undercarriage or chassis that can sustain to it. So yes, Hollet has been, our OEM has been working for greener machines, and already 4 models have been launched, and I am very sure as we move on, more and more machine will be either converted or will come with an option of battery machines. Another point
Thank
I
you.
just I wanted to touch upon, whereas my co-panelist has said, see, the regulation is still a challenge, right? Regulation is a big challenge. I mean, see, what he talked about is on-road vehicles, and then there is off-road vehicles, right?
Yes.
So on-road vehicle, you have different terms. I mean, you will be surprised to know that in Delhi, after this pollution going up, they have banned all BS4 diesel engine cars, and almost 3,000 people have been challaned for 20,000 rupees each, whatever happened. So I am telling you, there should be a regulation for off-road vehicles also. If a car cannot run by after 15 years or 10 years, why a construction equipment can be powered by
Yeah.
a 15-year-old machine, a 20-year-old machine? In fact, that is a much bigger machine. If you talk about excavator and all, what Mr. Sachdeva is talking about, there are excavator of 300 horsepower, 400 horsepower that will be, emitting a tons of emissions. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that example, Mr. Sinha. Now, Mr. Sachdeva, your talk focused on the rental revolution and the role of technology and automation. Could you share specific examples of how Equipment Planet has leveraged technology to enhance efficiency and sustainability in construction equipment rental?
Yeah, sure. I first of all, I again appreciate Mr. Vijay. I mean, we are absolutely in line with him and taking the things forward with the right sustainability. And you talked about Equipment Planet. Let me tell you. So, in our company, right from sales, our internal discussions, task management, service modules, log sheets, everything is automated, with the right ERP, and we have our own software. The complete ERP solution is there, in which we are having an automated log sheets are already there. So everything is automated till that invoice part. I mean, right, start from the quotation to when we conclude the deal, and then machine. I mean, obviously, it has the logistics is also involved. Everything is automated. Everything is, so that is really taking us forward, in the right sustainability model. And we are taking care of the skilling part of it. This is what we talked about. So we make sure that we do the right due diligence in terms of appointing any operator or a driver. The right due diligence is required. See, there is no authenticity of any document here, unfortunately, although it is not acceptable, but this is how we are growing, and we are growing at a much faster pace. Then we need to do the right due diligence, the right police verification is required. So this is what we are doing. We have underlined all the SOPs, standard SOPs are there. Then when machine will reach, what are the standard operating guidelines? So the guideline is that you need to see, because these are remote locations, so we need to find the right vendors nearby. So for that also there is an SOP. So automation, I think, the standardization in quotations, skilling, taking care of operator, uh, thinking broadly, I think that's the vision for Equipment Planet, and that's how we are taking it forward in a much broader scale. And fortunately, we are with all the categories. We are in road construction, we are in concrete construction, we have all these big slip form pavers. So we are in building, we are in concrete, we are in material lifting. So we want to come up with the one platform, kind of a thing, one centralized platform wherein you'll be getting all the machinery for a short term and a long term rentals. This is what we are looking forward to.
Thank you for the insights,
Over
sir.
to you. Yeah.
Now, for both the panelists, how do you envision collaboration between rental companies and equipment manufacturers, fostering innovation in green construction technology?
See, it is all up to demand. Rental companies are working in line with the infrastructure companies, the corporates, and all. So, whatever the demand is coming, we have to fulfill that demand. If any of the corporate is demanding electric equipment, yes, we know that lot of OEM, recent JCB recently launched electric excavator in Boma, I think, last Boma, and this Liugong has come up with these loaders, electric loaders. Though it sounds difficult, but then 5-ton loader working efficiently, electric driven, this thing loader is working really efficiently. I have seen it with my own eyes in China also. So we know manufacturers, we are in touch with all these OEMs wherein they are coming up with the electrification or the hybrid models. If you see in crusher category, so now the demand is coming up big time for these hybrid crushers. So for hybrid crushers, now OEMs are all prepared and they are coming up with the right solutions. So this is what I said, that OEM, with the right deliberations, with the right working with stakeholders, I think we are taking it forward. But it's all up to the demand. Whatever company is demanding, whether a diesel, electric, or a biofuel, whatever, that we need to cater. And this is how we are serving the industry. This is how we are taking it forward. And OEM, as I always say, they are the parent companies. In any case, we are not manufacturing on our own, so we have to buy from them, and then we'll have to give it on rent or lease, or for any of the other dry or wet lease model. So we are working very closely with all the OEMs for that. Thank you.
Great point, sir.
Let me have a quick response to your
Sure.
question, Mahesh. Basically, as we are representing Hollet, so Hollet already has taken a step forward. As I said, that they were the first company in the world to produce rough terrain scissor lift, right? Then they moved to the boom lift. So here, Gemini, as their Indian partner, as their Indian arm, we are promoting that particular product. And we have another OEM, their name is Palazani, and it's not only for Palazani, this is for any spider lift manufacturers. They were the first to have first hybrid machine, right? Like all their machines are essentially hybrid machines, means every machine will have two power source. One, what they call it bi-energy, that is AC power plus diesel, and second is AC plus DC. So these machines, even machine weighing 10 tons, 15 tons, they can be fully powered by battery. So as their Indian partners, we are promoting that product. Like when we are selling it to a commercial buildings or a convention center, we always emphasize that here, because it's a traffic area, human movements are there, so cleanliness is a must. So you should go for the battery operated machines. So this is our initiative to promote green machines in the country.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sachdeva, you have been a pioneer in organizing equipment rental industry. How can industry leaders influence and encourage broader adoption of sustainable practices among smaller enterprises and construction sector? Okay, what is your take on this, Mr. Sachdeva?
I agree 100% with Mr. Vijay. What he said, I think it will take uh, much longer time. I don't know why it is taking so much of time, though ISEMA is also working hard on it. I mean, the Construction Equipment Manufacturer Association, ISEMA, is doing wonders nowadays, and they are really working hard on these regulations. But I think it will take some more time in safety regulations, skilling regulations, certification regulations. I think it will take some good time.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Singh, you champion safety and productivity. How do you balance these priorities with growing emphasis on sustainability in construction practices?
As far as safety and productivity is concerned, I think earlier people were talking about safety, somebody will fall from height, this will happen, that will happen. But now people are well educated enough. They will not go there. Gone were those days, where a labor or a mechanic can take undue risk. Another way of looking at it is if the people are well equipped, if they have safe access to the work area, the productivity will increase. Not only productivity increase, I call it safety, convenience, and productivity. It means, like, if you are convenient, if you can do something conveniently, you will do it. But if you have to take a lot of pains, mostly you will not do it, right? So that is how I look at it.
Thank you for addressing that balance, Mr. Singh. Mr. Sachdeva, you spoke about right technology and automation in the rental industry. How can the industry ensure that these technologies are not only cutting edge but also environmentally conscious?
That I think one has to do the due diligence, and we should always be, do our research on the same. There are a lot of companies, so we need to see who are doing what. I mean, how many volumes they are selling, who are the clients. Again, for everything, we need to have the due diligence at place. We need to have our own research team so that we should have the right product at place. I'm not saying all the products in the market are accurate. I cannot guarantee any of those sensors or wired sensor there. Maybe there is some gap, but then one has to do their own research in terms of budgeting of that automation. How much is the budget? So you can spend several crores on that, but it is not required at the moment. So we have the decent models, I think, already prevailing in the industry. So we need to do the right research, that who is doing what. Or we can always go to OEM. OEM always have a solution for this. Rather, I can say that OEM should come up with the standardization of these automation already at place, which is not there. People should spend some extra money while buying that equipment only. And OEM, nobody is better than OEM. Let me tell you, nobody is better than that manufacturer. So manufacturer should have something on that. I mean, it should come up as a standard sensor, in machine. I mean, otherwise don't sell it. If you're selling it, sell it with the right gadgets, with the right sensor, so that I can see it upfront, while sitting here to any of the remote location. I think that is the way forward. And otherwise, we have a after sale, aftermarket. Those sensors are there, but we need to do our own research. I cannot comment on any of the single company. So I think one should do their own research on that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Wrapping up the session, what advice would you give to professionals and companies looking to make their construction practices more sustainable? I think let's start with you, Mr. Singh.
I think the answer is very simple. Right? The answer is simple. The implementation and execution is challenging, right?
Yeah.
Right. As far as green is concerned, I think nobody is against that. I will not be green. I will be burning the fuel, right? Everybody. But I think that requires. I mean, coming to the serious part of this thing, that you require a lot of resources. Like, for example, I mean, like, even you have seen Mr. Modi's campaign about those gas cylinders, right? People have been burning woods, and I am very sure even the crores would have been burning still the woods from the forest or the nearby areas. But the solution is the gas cylinders. The solution is their affordability to use those cylinders, right? So, as far as being green is concerned, I think nobody will be averse to it. Nobody will object to it. But I think the implementation takes a lot of time and it needs a complete overhaul. It needs a complete overhaul. Today, if we are used to diesel or petrol cars, tomorrow if you want to go for electric, it will completely change the whole setup. But I think it's that is my thought.
Okay. Valuable advice, Mr. Singh. Mr. Sachdeva, you have any closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, as Mrs. Vijay said it right, that it's a complete overhaul, like we do an overhaul of an internal combustion engine. We need quite a see. One thing I would like to say here on this platform, that rental companies, they are still lacking behind in terms of participation in industry practices, conferences, seminars, exhibitions. So I don't know why, but it is not just about increasing your fleet. You have to learn also at the same time. So for learning, you need to attend these conferences. You need to attend these exhibitions. Now this XCon is coming up in a very big way, and it will be huge this year. So what I'm able to understand is, so when you go there, meet people, there are technology people there are spare parts people there. So all the stakeholders are there, all OEMs are there. But I don't see much of the excitement, within this rental industry for that, which is not right. I mean, so I think when you meet people, when you go out, I think not less than 30, 40 technology companies will be exhibiting there in XCon. So one has to be there and just roam around, talk to people. I think that's the way forward, because sitting at home or sitting at your office, you'll not be able to know what is happening. And then, going through the magazines, there are a lot of good magazines like NBM, CW is there, Construction World is there. There are a lot of other magazines. So not much of people are reading it. So, but this is really needed, by that way, you'll be updated, always. So I think people should participate more in these sort of exhibitions and seminars, if I said it right. Yeah, Vishal. Maheshi.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We have one question from one of our attendee. This question is for Mr. Sachdeva. What role automation appliances play on sustainability concept?
I think I have answered it well. I hope twice I have answered this. If you want me to again repeat it, I can. I think that gentleman was there when I was talking about automation and sustainability. That thing, it is already there. Automation is 100% needed. 100% needed. Without this automation, it's next to impossible for any of the rental company or even the construction company to grow. Technology, automation, telematics is the way forward. I mean, nobody can get rid of it. I think this is the time we should take it forward in the right manner. This is really needed. Fuel management, geofencing, this is really needed, this L&T and all these infra companies, they are already adopted this, automation. In fact, they are doing it on their own. I mean, we are giving the machines to them, and they are doing automation themselves, for our machines. So they are fitting those sensors, those wired sensors, so that they can have an idea what is doing. And about the performance also, how much is the idle hours, how much is the working hours. So we need to calculate that also. That is needed. The machine is running. It cannot guarantee that it is working also. The machine is idle for maybe more than 2 hours. So we need to have the right automation at place. This is really needed.
Thank you, Mr. Singh and Mr. Sachdeva, for your insights and expertise. As we conclude this session, we appreciate your valuable contribution, and we look forward to seeing the positive impact to this discussion in the industry.